Okay, let's go straight to my newsmaker tonight, TM Krishna, Carnatic musician as well as Magsaysay Award winner, joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Krishna. My first question, what was your initial reaction, Krishna, when you heard that your music concert or the entire music concert had been cancelled, allegedly after pressure from the Narendra Modi government? You were not being allowed to perform in the national capital after that attack from right-wing trolls.
I think it's incredibly disappointing. I think that's the word I would use. And it's not about me. It's the fact that we have descended to this level of anger, this level of hate, and the fact that we have people in power who are going to succumb to this kind of bullying, and that the fact that if somebody has different views than yours, who's going to be a strong critic of the government, who has different views on culture, on religion, will be then stopped and told that you don't have a right, you don't have a space, you don't have a public space. The concert was at a public space for everybody. And if these spaces are going to be governed by very, very narrow thinking, narrow views, I wonder where we are heading. I mean, it's something everybody should be worried about. It's not about me.
You know, but Krishna, there is some confusion over what exactly happened. Now Spicmacay says they've not cancelled the concert, they've only postponed it. Do you believe the organizers bent under pressure, or did the airports authority, the event sponsor, have a genuine reason for asking the organizers to, as they say, postpone the event? What happened?
No,
exactly?
Let me tell you the sequence of events.
Yes.
The sequence of events are as follows. This concert was arranged many months ago, and then on the 11th of November, Airport Authority of India had put out a tweet saying they are very happy to present TM Krishna at concert on the 17th at Nehru Park. On 12th afternoon, the trolling began. I noticed it a little later in the evening, and many ministers were tagged on it. The PMO was tagged on it, all kinds of names being called, and it just went on and on. And I understand from Spicmacay that they did initially receive calls the next morning. In fact, they were told about the trolling by Airports Authority of India, and they were first told, don't worry, we will go ahead with the concert, forget about the trolling. They in fact got a second call later in the day on the 12th saying that please arrange extra security to make sure everything goes ahead, and we will have the concert. Till 4:35 p.m. on the 13th, the concert was scheduled. At 5:30 p.m., they were called in for a meeting, which I think they thought was a logistical meeting, and they were just told, carte blanche, that the concert needs to be postponed and the whole festival needs to be postponed because of exigencies of work. And that's all they were told. It was all done like this, and nothing else. They were told nothing else. And if you look at what the chairman of AIA said in the Indian Express today, it's ridiculous, saying that we are not free for those on that date. I mean, that's the most ridiculous argument you can place, when Spicmacay actually does all the groundwork, by the way.
No, I agree. There's absurd the manner in which this has happened, Krishna. But can you really keep your music and your politics separate? Given that you've taken a strong stand against Hindutva politics, you're seen to be anti-Modi and the BJP. Is TM Krishna, the musician, can he really be kept away from the political environment, in a polarized environment? In a perfect world, maybe music can be distinct to your politics, but do we really live in a perfect world, Krishna?
I don't think music and art has ever been separate from politics. It's just an illusion, a delusion that we have been carrying forward. It is always political. And therefore, I think what is important is for the art community, as much as everybody else, to realize how political the culture of this country is. And if you say cultures, and I would say plural, cultures of this country, is primarily because of the musicians and dancers and theatre personnel and cinema actors, and everybody is part of this whole world of art. And everybody is political. And if we are not going to stand up and realize that we are political, we need to participate in this discourse, create very active conversation. We are always going to succumb to this kind of nonsense. This is utter nonsense. I mean, it's a wake-up call, truly.
No, I take your point that it's nonsense, but this is not the first time it has happened. So can we really single out the Narendra Modi government? Remember, Indira Gandhi targeted artists during the emergency. MF Hussain couldn't enter the country when the UPA was in power. So isn't there a clear pattern that whoever is in power wants to essentially muzzle dissent or dissenting voices.
You're absolutely right. It's always happened. If you look at what happened to MF Hussain, everybody else, it's always happened. But you make a fair point that social media allows for gangs to get set, for mafias to form online. And I can tell you there's nothing accidental about it. It's high time we realize that these gangs of trolls, of people with violent notions who want to bully people and scare people are not coming together by accident. We have to understand this is part of the way people are behaving. Social media is, after all, a medium, and the medium enables this kind of gundaism. And I agree with you that social media is accentuating and creating a greater fear psychosis among all of us.
It's interesting, therefore, that you're in a sense saying social media is what has changed the nature of this policing that's taking place. Do you then therefore then agree with me that larger problem is partly social media, but also the nature of the Indian state, as I said, that sees artists as soft targets? As I mentioned, Indira Gandhi banned Kishore Kumar's songs on air during the emergency because the singer spoke out against the emergency. Is there any difference in that sense you see between a BJP under Narendra Modi and, dare I say, a Congress under Indira?
Look, first of all, every government has always tried to muscle voices, muscle songs, muscle painters. So that's not new. But there is, I think, a difference, and I think the comparison with Indira Gandhi is important in the context of what you're saying, because it seems as if, from what is going on, not just with me, but with many people, that people in power, people close to the government, are all party to this kind of behavior. They are party, they are enabling forces. The party in power, the BJP, it can say that they have nothing to do with it. They are creating an environment of anger. The words of the Prime Minister in so many contexts across this country is encouraging and enabling a kind of anger. I would be very direct when I say that the BJP leaders in power today, with the things that they say, are actually encouraging this kind of behavior from people. And I think that is what is very, very, very worrisome. You can't have people in government, people close to the government, openly saying things that are divisive, that are destroying what we keep calling the syncretic culture of this country.
Strong words from you there, Krishna, but what of the organizers? Spicmacay, an organization which has done such great work to promote the arts. Shouldn't Spicmacay be standing up? Shouldn't civil society be standing up to what I would describe as bullying?
I mean, my heart goes out to Spicmacay because I spoke to them and I know they are distraught. They feel gutted. They felt horrible when they spoke to me. They didn't know what to say. And I must also apologize to the other wonderful artists who were part of this festival, whose concerts and performances have been cancelled because of this. To the government and to the people in power, all I can say is, it is high time you realize you need to have diverse voices. You need to hear the song. You need to hear the song of protest. It is absolutely fine if you want to come outside a performance space and raise slogans and protest and say, I disagree with TM Krishna. Please do it. But you cannot muscle people. You cannot ask people to shut up. You cannot say, if you're going to have views that are not in agreement with us, you don't have a space in this country. And I must say, the more and more people in power do this, there are going to be more people raising a voice. There are going to be more people challenging it. Therefore, I don't care whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Let's at least start listening to each other and just accept that we need to coexist in this wonderful country.
But are you being idealistic when you say that, more and more voices will emerge? Where are those diverse voices who can speak to truth to power when there is a sense that those voices get targeted? One gets a sense that people are timid, not willing to speak up. We talk of diversity, but is society actually somewhere, Krishna, pushing for some kind of uniformity in opinion?
Absolutely. What happened to, for example, Ramachandra Guha just a month ago is another example of what is going on in this country. Cultural policing has no space in a democratic country. It has no space in the idea of freedom. We celebrate our constitution, we celebrate the rights we have given ourselves. Muscling and cultural monotheism and cultural anger has no space in this country. So if we truly want to celebrate ourselves as the largest democracy in the world, everybody says this, we have to stop this. We have to put an end to this. And it's important that this putting an end, this directive comes from the highest powers in this country. It is important that the Prime Minister, the ministers, all in power, make an unequivocal statement that we will not allow this to happen. You can't allow stooges and so-called fringe elements to do whatever they want and then say we had nothing to do with it. That does not work.
But again, I come back to it. Are we all complicit in a way? Is there enough people out there willing to challenge the status quo, the song of protest as you call it?
Well, we are complicit. I think the fear psychosis has reached quite an extreme point today. The divisiveness that has increased, any kind of, all we hear in civil society and in political voices are extreme opinions that are not willing to listen to each other. And I unfortunately don't believe anything is going to change in the near future. And I really fear that the closer we get to 2019, it's going to get worse. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope I'm completely wrong. But if this has to change, Rajdeep, it is also important that we as civil society members seriously start rethinking the way we are conversing, the way we are listening. Because it's not just, as I did say that the powers should say it, but it's also important for every one of us to engage in a way that changes this atmosphere. We have to engage in social media in a way that changes atmosphere. There are going to be these huge armies of trolls who are always going to do what they do. But it's important that the rest of us also introspect about the language, about the shouting. I think television channels also need to rethink the way they do programs. You have these 15 boxes with everybody shouting at each other and a so-called moderator making a mockery of it. All this has to end. There has to be a culture of sitting together and disagreeing, sitting together and listening to each other's song. I don't know whether it's going to happen in the near future, but I do hope that we make baby steps, take baby steps towards that direction.
I'm listening to you and I can appreciate what you're saying as someone who can see this happening in the media ecosystem, particularly television around me. But there will be also those who are listening to you tonight who will say that TM Krishna is talking like a politician, not a musician. So as a politician or someone with strong political thoughts, he will be challenged, questioned. Will you change your views as a result of this controversy? Do you intend at any stage to be a little bit more guarded in the future? Will you change the way you think about issues?
Rajdeep, I have a political position. I have social views. I have cultural views. I have very strong opinions on the casteist nature of this country. And nothing I've said is dishonest. Nothing I've said is aimed at targeting somebody. Everything I've said or thought is also as much about myself and the struggles that I go through as a person of great privilege, as a person who has come through this Hindu culture, as a person who has also had many narrow opinions on society. I will take back nothing, absolutely nothing. But if somebody entirely disagrees with me, of course, please do disagree with me. I entirely disagree with the BJP establishment. It doesn't mean that I will not sit across the table and laugh and and joke and celebrate who each other are. There is nothing I'll take back, Rajdeep. I have not boxed myself in any fashion. I have just been honest about what I believe in. And that's all it is. And that's all we can do.
But I come back to it in this them versus us society. How do you then promote dialogue when dissent is criminalized, where people see each other almost as hostile forces against each other depending on their ideology? Is a rational dialogue really possible? Do you really believe it, or are you being idealistic?
Let me even put it this way. Dissent is democracy. Dissent is freedom. It is in dissent that you hear the voice that you never want to hear. And we all have to listen to all those voices. All the voices that question the way we think, we feel, we behave, and we dictate have to be listened to. Dissent is the soul of India.
Now this concert, Krishna, was supposed to be on the 17th this weekend in Delhi. It's been cancelled or postponed. The Aam Aadmi Party government interestingly has said that they will hold a concert for you. Are you ready to play if any political party or a private group offers you the opportunity in a way to challenge what has been done by the state?
I will be happy to come on the 17th and sing anywhere in a public space in Delhi, because I think it's not only a mark of dissent, it is also something we have to collectively show that in spite of all this, we can still celebrate music, dance, literature, everything that keeps us together as this multiplicity of cultures.
A final word then, Krishna, as a musician who has brought glory to the country, has revived its traditions or kept those traditions alive, what does it feel for someone like you, a Carnatic musician, to be then called anti-national on social media by your critics?
I don't know. I think those who have been already called anti-national have nothing to fear. It's already out there, right? So you don't need to argue that. It's the ones who are scared that they'll be called who will fear. But I am getting calls from this morning about coming to Delhi on the 17th. Let me see how it pans out. And if it works, I will be there on the 17th, Rajdeep.
TM Krishna, pleasure talking to you and getting you to really speak out. The song of protest, as you beautifully put it there, may that long continue in this great diverse country called India or Bharat. Thanks very much for joining me on the Newsroom.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.